Jack and David from Jack's Coffee are folded in a deep family history with 4 generations working in coffee and tea, which gives them an edge not just with their suppliers all over the world, but also with how to properly prepare a cup of joe.
My grandfather and my father set up an importing company. So once they brought the tea and coffee into New Zealand, they sold it on to the packer. My brother John, and we are in his cupping room today, he is the largest importer of green coffee into New Zealand, and he supplies and sells to most of the coffee roasters. So now you've got my grandfather, my father, my brother John, and his daughter Alice. So there's 4 generations in the importing side of the business. I could say I was the black sheep of the family. I jumped sideways and got into the manufacturing side. So I was the customer of my father and the customer of my brother. And I still buy coffee and tea from John, and I have Jack, who is my son, working in my business.
I remember stealing the chocolate-coated coffee beans at one of Dad's roasteries. And so yeah, coffee's been a part of my life pretty much as early as I can remember. Dad was great in that he offered an invitation to me to join the coffee industry, but he's not forcing me to stay. He's not forcing me to do this or that. He's actually just offered me a great opportunity. And in a similar sense, I think that's what I would do with my kids. But Dad and myself and my wife, so I imagine my kids will be probably quite people focused, and that's been a great value in our business. I think knowing that we've got a great product that helps bring people together, and so it just makes a whole enjoyable experience.
When I was in my early 20s, I needed a job, and my father got me a job working for one of his customers, Choice of Tea, and that was the start. I spent 10 years as a trainee tea taster, as I said, travelling the world, buying teas, visiting countries and negotiating with Indonesian and Chinese governments on the supply of tea, bringing all that tea back to New Zealand and packing it and blending it into Choicer, the #1 brand of New Zealand tea, a brand that not many people know of anymore.
Jack's Coffee's mission is to sell the freshest roasted coffee and let their customers enjoy these same bright delights as David did when he was a young packer. Jack Burton, with the namesake of his grandfather, is now stepping into the business.
Well, he taught me how to play cricket, taught me how to bat, although I was not naturally a very good batsman. I was a much better bowler. But yeah, he was passionate about sport, passionate about business, really family orientated, and just a great guy with great values, great integrity, wonderful sense of humour. And would always show up at every single sports game. He was there, and it's probably one of my greatest memories. And I know it's one of Dad's greatest memories, just seeing his dad show up for Jack Jr.'s sports games.
So Dad and Granddad would bring in containers of tea for those 3 packers. I remember when I was about 10, I used to go, and a treat for me was to go with Dad in on a Sunday morning. He would go into the Auckland post office to clear out his boxes, big boxes full of huge packets of tea, a bag, and we'd give them to the neighbours and friends. Fresh tea, boy, you could smell it the minute you walked in, it was lovely.
So Dad and I were quite similar in some areas. We value relationships, we're quite extroverted people, but also we are quite different, and so he can be more numbers focused, and I'm less so. And so it's interesting in that we'll have similar strengths and we'll focus on those, and then we'll both realise that we've forgotten areas because we've got similar weaknesses as well. But when it comes to a family business, the good thing is I've already got that relationship built up with essentially my boss, because he's my dad, and so I think we understand each other.
I'm really at the end of my time at this industry, and it's time to pass over to the young ones to really take the business where they think it should go. I will certainly offer all my suggestions and recommendations.
Jack's Coffee is just one of the world-class brands featured in Debutify's documentary series. a series dedicated to celebrating inspiring stories of innovative businesses. As the all-in-one e-commerce solution for Shopify brand owners, Debutify has helped hundreds of thousands of brand owners build, scale, and grow their e-commerce businesses.